Hi everyone, my name's Electric Donkey and today we're back once again on the No Man's Sky project. So we're going to be doing something we've done in the past before, and that's saving and loading. Now, we did saving and loading before and it really didn't work, and that's because I've missed out a huge step. Basically in this video we're just going to be starting right from blank. We're going to be starting from scratch basically, ignoring all of those wasted videos that I spent a while back. So, there's a few things we need to do actually before we start doing the saving and loading though, so I'll just run through those quickly. One of the first ones is when we actually go into a world like this one, we need to be able to get off the world, so we're going to be using escape for that. So we want to be able to get off the world so we can test easily, but also so that we can go to other planets. So how we're going to do that is we're going to go into our object player, we're going to add an event in the key press, and then other, and escape, and then drag over a bit of code, and this is going to be return to, I'm going to put in brackets, home screen. It's kind of semi-home screen, and all we're going to do is room equals room, and in our case it's just room. It's a bit weird, but that's basically just that. So now if we run it, we should just be able to, when we are on a planet, to press escape and we'll go back. There you go, back. Now the next thing we want to do is so that when we click each one of these we always get the same world. We want to keep the same one, and when we leave it, it should save. So there's a few things here we need to actually fundamentally sort out, which is to do with the world gen. Now at the moment the world gen, every single time you click on a world, creates a new world. It's not a problem, but the problem is if we have a world saved, it's never going to load it, and that was the bit we were missing last time fundamentally. So what we're going to do here, as a little bit of a change, I don't know why this is all tabbed over, but for a bit of a change around, we're going to do it a little bit of a weird way. So we're going to use a script that we haven't actually made yet. Now we're just going to leave it like that at the moment. We are going to pass some things in later, but effectively all you need to know at the moment is that's an empty script, but also that once we've made this world, that we're going to save it. Okay, so now what we need to do is when we actually click on the planet, we need to set a variable up. So the variable is what we're going to save the file as, so the file name, and for this we're going to have one for each planet in our room. Now the way we're going to do this is have an independent, a variable basically that's only this one planet's going to have. Now, the way we're going to do it, we're going to say when we click on the planet, you can see here we've got it, and basically we're just going to use global.idd equals string x plus string y, and all that's going to do is make the x coordinates of this planet and the y coordinates equal global.idd, which is going to be our unique identifier for that planet. So when we click on the planet, we're setting that to that. Now you can see where this is going, because now when they create a planet, when we scroll down here, we're now going to pass in global.idd. Not only that, we're then going to also pass in the grid we want to save. So effectively we're saving in the file name of the unique identifier of that planet, it's my cat, and we're saving that grid. So now it's time to quickly go and let my cat outside. Sorry about that. But now we are going to, once we've let the cat outside, to actually start coding this save world. So at the moment it's completely blank, but we already know that we're going to pass in two variables. So script save world as you normally would. Now you want unique identifier here is our first variable we want to pass in, and the grid to save is the second. So we're going to use var idd equals argument 0 var grid equals argument 1. Now saving a world is relatively simple using this. All we have to do is, well, first of all make a ini file. So we're going to say ini open, and this, if you have a look, will make one if it doesn't already. So if the ini doesn't exist, it will create one, but only if you write data to it, which is what we're going to do. So we need a name for this, and the name is going to be the IDD, the identifier. We're just going to make sure that's a string, and we're going to add to the end of it .text, which is very important. Now that's relatively easy. We've opened that. Now we need to start writing. So there's a few interesting things. Now we have real and string. Now realistically we need to convert this, but I'm not entirely sure whether... How did we do it last time? We did it on the... let me just open up my example. We need to convert it, so there is different ways of doing it. I mean, probably the most long-winded way would be to make a for loop. Let's just do it really quick, kind of example one, and we'd say ini write real, and we'd say section I as in the thing, and we'd then go and say 0, let's say, and we put in, oh actually we need 2, we need XX and YY, and then for the value we'd put, say, grid XXYY. Now that would be a really long-winded way of doing it, and we'd end up with a massive file. Now there is another way which I'm going to show you if I get this up, which is in my current game, which is also using saving grids. And what have I done for that? Let's see, saving loading, script save game. What we have done is, yeah, that's the one, ds grid write, that's what we were looking for. So we want to ini write, I think it might be a real, but don't hold me to that. The section, we're going to say section 0, and the key is also 0, doesn't matter for them, you can put whatever you want. The value though is going to be ds grid write. Now it's actually string we need here, so let's just change that to string, and we're going to pass in the grid. Now that was relatively simple. Now if we give this a go now, I'll just open that up so you can have a look at it. Basically we're passing two things in, unique identifier, grid to save, like that. We're opening the file of the name unique identifier, and we're then writing in our grid, and we're closing it. So we shouldn't actually get any input back from this, but once we go into the files, compile failed. It means something has gone astray in our save world. Maybe how we wrote this one wrong by any chance? I'm wondering if it might not like this bit, so instead what we're going to do is just to make things a little bit easier, so we're going to use object world gen.planet. Now technically you wouldn't have to use the object world gen, but it's just for future use if we need to use it in any other things. Still saying it's failed, just kind of worrying actually. What if we just completely hash that out? Will it still run then? Never really had that before, to be honest. Yet it will still run there, so it is something in here that's going astray. This is another kind of useful technique. Yeah, right, so I think it's to do with this one. Let's just give that a go now. We're just passing them on. It will say we we've got too many things. If we drop that one, the last one. I'm going a bit fast, but I will definitely go back and go through what I just did then. Still failed. Right, okay. Suggested something further on. Right, I'm just thinking quickly, it might be worth doing is just changing this to unique ID, just because it's a global variable, so it might be clashing with that. So let's give that a run now, just see if that's the problem. Still not the problem. Right, compile failed. It's a really weird, it's not very useful error message, that really. It doesn't like the script, for whatever reason. It really doesn't like it. That's a really weird error as well. It's not a normal error. Is it just this bit? What if we were to do that one? I mean, it will obviously still error because it won't have the global.idd, well, the IDD, but we'll have a different error. Yeah, it will. Right, so something in the script, and this bit here it doesn't like. What about file unique ID? Let's try this. It's a bit of a long shot, but let's give it a go anyway. Basically, as well, what we did in the world gen was just drop the second. Right, that seemed to work. Right, so that seems to work all of a sudden for some reason. I'm not really sure what's happened there, but for some reason it's decided that's it's gonna work now. Right, so that should have saved now, I guess. So let's give it a go. So the way you can test this is go into E or C, whatever, users, app, data, local, and most of the time it's one of these games, it's one of these ones. So you can see this is not the right one. Is this the right one? Nope. Nope. It's kind of just trial and error. See, that one says one man's lie, so that's probably this one. So now you've got the long process of going through each one of these and trying to find something. Options.ini. Options.ini. So these are all the different times you run it, basically. So we're seeing to see if anything has been made. I don't think we can find anything there. Unless, on the other hand, it's decided to save into here, which it sometimes also decides to do. It can be a bit haphazard at times. One man's lie. Let's just check again that it's not saved in there. Bit unusual, but does happen. One man's lie. Right, okay, instead then, what we're going to do is just put here, show debug messing, and we're just going to plop this bit in, just to see whether it's actually getting an output, whether it's actually saving anything. So yeah, you can see there, it's definitely got stuff to save. It's definitely saving it somewhere, just where is the question. So yeah, it's interesting to see where it's actually saved that. I mean, we know it's saving though, because we've got this here. So basically what we'll do in the next video is actually load up from that file that we've made there, even though it's not technically, we can't see it. It is there because it's written here. This is all of the IDs of the everything in the world. So we will go into the loading in the next video and be able to possibly have it done next video, maybe two, and then after that we're going to do some other random things. But anyway guys, if you liked this video, remember to like, subscribe, or just do what you guys want to do, and I will talk to you in the next one.